leave the thing and then join back. You continue. I'll just leave the thing and come back.
Okay, fine. Okay, let's start today's class. So today we are going to learn about 3ds Max. This is a powerful software, 3ds Max, that is 3D Studio Max. Initially, it was developed for DOS platform. Now it is available also for Windows platform. And this is developed by Autodesk Media and Entertainment Department. And this software itself is so powerful that using this software we got some movies like GI Joe, Rising of Cobra, Spider-Man 3, uh, Chota Bheem, Kung Fu. So there are lots of movies created using this software, and there is another software like this which is more powerful than this, that is Autodesk Maya. So with this software you can achieve any kind of modeling, not only for architecture, not only for civil, that is also used for gaming, creating any creature, creating any character. You can do animation with this software. You can create movement for your characters. You can create walkthrough for architecture and civil industry projects. You can make it live. You can add life to your projects for architectural and interiors. So these things we can do it, and we are going to discover all of these things in our classes. So let's discuss about this thing, that is your GUI. You can see this is the GUI for 3ds Max, and let's discuss about all the parts of the GUI.
So 3D Max and 3ds Max are different.
Yes, it is different. So that is for 3ds Max is basically developed by Autodesk, and the 3D Max or 3ds. I think there is 3ds.
Yeah. This you were saying
Yes,
3DS, no?
3ds. That is for DOS platform.
For?
For DOS platform. So here you can see that first option is this one, that is our sign in option. You can sign to your account. You can log into your Autodesk account there. And the second option is for workspace, changing your workspace there, and selecting the right workspace will help you to get all the right tools related to your project. And the third option is there, that is called menu bar. This is, you can see, this is the menu bar. And the fourth, this is your main toolbar. So all the tools present within this main toolbar. And this five, this is called your ribbon. And the six, this is called scene explorer. So all the objects is present within this scene explorer. You can control the visibility, you can control the scene with this scene explorer. And next is your 8, this is your command panel. So with this command panel you actually control your project, you create your model, you modify your model, you add everything with this command panel. And 9, this is your viewport. This is called viewport. So this is kind of similar in AutoCAD also. You have seen this viewport, that is called viewport. And then this is 10, that is MaxScript Mini Listener. So you can run script also here. So whatever you are achieving with these commands, you can achieve also using this script. So we are not going to cover this. This is used for gaming industry. And next is your 11. So this is your status line and prompt line. So right now this option is selected, or it's telling you to click and drag and select and move objects, as because you are hovering your mouse on this car. Yeah, you can see. And 12, this option, you can isolate selection toggle and selection lock toggle is there. So these two options we will discover in our software. And this option is, these three is x, y, and z coordinate values will be displayed. So this is called coordinate display. And this one is for animation and time control. This one is for animation and time control, and this 15 is your viewport navigation control. So to navigate within your viewport, you will be using these tools. And we don't have anything else. Okay. Okay, so this yes, right, thank you. So this one is for project toolbar. Okay, so where it will be saved, the project location, the project folder where it will be saved, you can control through this. Okay, so let's go to our software itself.
I missed the 7 number. 7th is what?
Okay, that is your viewport layout. I think I have missed out. That is your viewport layout. So now you can see that this viewport has 4 different layout. So that is selected. So with this option, you can change the viewport layout. Okay, so let's switch into that. Switch into our software itself. I hope the software screen is visible right now.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. All right, so after opening your 3ds Max software, what you should do first? So first, what you should do is setting your workspace. So the workspace will allow you to have the right tools, the right layout for your projects, right? So here you can see that when you choose this one, just hold on, you are getting these kind of tools. So that this is the toolbar. The main toolbar is present over here, and the scene explorer is present over here. So the layout is changed right now. So you remember in AutoCAD also I have showed you this about the workspace. So this is kind of this is similar, right? So that thing is we got some predefined workspace there, all right? So the default one is okay for our purpose, right? So that is set, workspace is set, and then you go for your project location where it will be saved. So you can define the project location, all right? Or else you can also define project where it will be saved. Okay, so I will come on this part later about this project folder, creating your project folder and all this. I'll come on this part later. Now you see that you have this configuration, the 4 quad viewports. Now you come to this, you click on this create new viewport layout tab, and from this 12 options you can select any one to configure your viewport layout. So let me choose suppose this option. Okay, So you can see, right, like this you can have. Okay, so whatever is your working style, whatever you prefer, according to that you will be setting this layout. So first you will set workspace, then you will be setting your viewport. So from this option you can set your viewport layout. Now you see that we know this thing in AutoCAD also. This is your viewport control, this is your view control, and this is here it's quality control. Okay, and here is your graphics or visual style control. Now you come to this one, and here also you got this configure viewport. So you can change the display performance there, and you can change the background. Now come to this layout option. So you can see that this layout option is available here, the same thing. So we are currently using this 4 equal viewport. You can change it to any other options. So let's use this one. And background, so it is the default one. If you want to change anything with the gradient color, and we will later use this environment background, we will apply some environment, and we will use this environment background later. So let's go for this. Okay, and now it is set. Now here you can see that when I'm selecting this viewport, this single viewport is right now active. So whatever I'll be doing, it will come to this viewport first, and according to this viewport I'll be creating any object or anything like camera or anything what I'll be creating. So according to this viewport and the coordinate of this viewport, it will creating, but it will be reflected, it will be reflected to all the other viewports as well, right? So now you see that this top view is set for this viewport. If I go to this, front is set, and this is left, and this is perspective. You can change the views as well. So for changing the views, or for any particular views like top, you have the shortcut T, and for front you have the shortcut F. For left you have the shortcut L, and for perspective you have the shortcut P. Suppose I need to change the view from top to front here, or if I need to change right view, so for that I have to press VR, V for view and R for right, VR. You see that it is now changed to right view. Now if I go to front, and there I need to change it to top, so I will press T. Now you see that it is changed to top. You can come and choose from the list as well, and there you can see the shortcuts. Okay, and for orthographic you can choose U as orthographic. Okay, and whenever you click on this home button, you will get perspective. So let me change to left again, and if you press P there, after changing it, you will get back your perspective view. And to set your home view there, and you have this little context menu there, and there you can set current view as home. You can set any particular view, and if you want to get back that position all the time, so you set that view from this context menu, you set that view as home, and set current view as front. So you remember that we have already covered this thing, these two thing in Revit, right? You remember? Yes. So you will find similarities with Autodesk softwares. You will find some similarities with AutoCAD, some similarities with Revit. So this is how we set our views, and then we will set this visual style. Okay, and before that, if I need any tools to add, so we will come to this tool option, and suppose I need Scene Explorer, this one. If I need this one, I need to add like this, or okay, no problem. Let's have it here. Okay, so here you can see that this is the scene explorer, and we have one zero default layer, so we can use layers as well. So within this layer we can create some objects, and we can control visibility with this layer. Okay, so we'll later discover about this one, about the scene explorer, about the selecting and display this option. We will come on this part later. If you come to this tool option, we also have this layer explorer. So that is kind of similar to your scene explorer. Okay, and also we can add some more tools, or we can like this use some tools which is available here also. You can use these tools from here. Okay, now let me go to this customize option, and if you want to customize your user interface there, you can come to this option, and there you will find some shortcuts, some keyboard shortcuts that is not available right now. I will share with you some keyboard shortcut list. Okay, and you know some toolbars are there, and if you choose this one or this one, so like this, so this is added, these are the tools added within your toolbars. Okay, and this is for quads and menus. Okay, and the all about the colors. All right, so this thing you can customize there. Again, let's go for customize, and you can go to hotkey editor, and within this hotkey editor you will find some hotkeys there. You can find some shortcut keys, so you can choose one, like this one is for B. So this list already I have, I will share with you. Okay, now let me come to this customize option again, and here we have another option, that is preference. So you will set some preference. So according to your preference you will set and you will work. So all the general is fine. We don't have anything to change right now. You can see that everything is okay right now. Now let's go for this file option, and here you see that the program file path is set, this one. This is the program file path. This auto backup option is checked. This is enabled right now. So it will create up to 3 backups. Okay. So whenever you save, the last 3 backup will be saved. After 5 minutes interval, it will be saved. So the last in every 5-minute interval, it will save the backup files. Okay, so it will be automatically done, and you will find it in the documents. There will be one 3ds max folder, and there you will find the backup file autoback. So there it will be saved. All right, so you can change the location. I will share with you when you will create a project file, and there it will be saved. Now let me show you that we have checked convert local file paths to relative. So why we should check this option, convert local file path to relative? Because in this project, in this 3ds max project, we may use some external files, right? Like linking any Revit file, any AutoCAD file, or else we can use material images, bitmap images. We can use that, right? So those files are saved in a particular folder within my system, right? But if I share that file after inputting all those files, after inserting all those files in my 3ds Max project, if I share with any other person, that person will open that file in his or her system, and the file path will be changed, right? So it will not match. But if you choose this one, so it will convert that path to that relative, so you don't have to reload those files again. Now we also have backup on save. You can go for increment on save option check. So whenever you will save, it will save each and every time with an increment number. All right. So right now we don't need that. Make sure you do check this convert local file path to relative. This option should be checked, and this enable option should be checked. And about the gizmos, everything is okay right now. So this access levels, this gizmos, this is done. Now let's go for OK. And before starting your project, what you will do is these things in your user interface, these things are checked, right? So if you need to float any viewport, you
So,
can float.
so you cannot
Yes.
see the dialog box.
Cannot see this customize option.
No, now like customize and 4 viewports are visible, but if you're showing something else, then no.
No, I'm showing you this customize.
Yeah, but the dialog box is not open there then.
Okay, just a second.
The
Okay, is it visible now?
yeah. Now like whatever you're doing is visible.
Okay,
Earlier it
fine.
was not.
All right, fine. Okay, so here you can see that we have this customize option within this customize tab. So I have showed you this customize user interface and this preference option there. Okay, and next let's go for this load custom UI scheme. You can load some user interface scheme is there. Okay, so if it is you are downloading something, or if it is created externally, you can load user interface files. And this is for preference. Now let's go for unit setup. So here you can see that this is the default unit right now, because most of the time I use metric and millimeter. So if you want to use millimeter, centimeter and these units, you will be choosing metric. And if you want to choose feet and inches, then you will select use US standard. And there, which one will be the default unit, feet and inches, you select that. And the custom unit is like you set what will be the value for your unit. So you can go for this one is like full length is equal to 660 meter. Okay, so you can choose your unit, you can set your values with this custom. And the generic unit, so generic unit is the default system unit, is equal to the system unit. So there you can set 1 inches, 1 unit is equal to 1 inches. So uh, generic unit is your arbitrary unit. So there will be no value. One is equal to 1 unit, but here you see that 1 unit is equal to 1 inches. Here it is set like that. So that means if you go for generic unit, so 1 will be equal to your system unit scale, that is 1 inches. So there you can change for 1 millimeter. There 1 is equal to 1 millimeter. Like that you can have it. So better you go for specific unit that you set metric or US standard feet or inches. So let me choose metric and millimeter. And for lighting units, we will be working with international unit. If you are working with American project, US projects, you can choose American. Now click on OK, and let me go for this customize, and there I have one option for user interface. Let me get that. uh, yes, okay, so here you can see that we have some user interface layout setup. Okay, so this will be the default UI. So we will be working with this default UI. All right, so you can choose like this option. So according to that you will get some options like this that is available here. You can read them, and this is your like the color for your user interface, the viewport for the tools, which one, what kind of color it will be. So you can choose from this one, and this is the settings for your tools layout. Okay, like for the rendering, which one will be the renderer, and the material editor, what will be the light settings, and all these things as per this UI layout you will get it. Okay, so most of the time we will use this max one and with this default UI, and let's go for OK, and there you see. All right, now if you want to create a new one, so new, let's create a new file there. And now let's start working with our model. So here you see that this is your command panel, and we have 6 different tabs. So first one is your create tab, and then the second option, second tab is your geometry tab. Third is hierarchy tab, and the fourth one is motion, and then display, and then utilities. So to create anything like any geometry, any camera, or anything you want to create, so you will come to this create tab, and there you will find your required tools. And if you want to modify, so related to modifiers and related to modifying tools, you will find within this modify tab. And hierarchy is to change the position for your center, for your geometric center, or for your pivot location that you want to change, uh, that you will find within this hierarchy tab. And to create some motion, you will find tools related to create your motion within your character or within your scene, so that you will find here. Okay, so let's go for creating. So we are currently in create tab, and within this geometry option, and this standard primitive is selected right now. So I'll select this box option. Let me, yes, Now let me create this box over there. Okay, so this creating this box is similar creating in AutoCAD. So we have already created in AutoCAD, so the same way we will create in 3ds Max as well. So first click and hold and then drag till the opposite corner, then release your mouse, then drag till the height and then click. So this is the way to create a box. And now you see that this gizmo is showing the 3 axes, the positive direction of your 3 axes. Now after creating any geometry, if you want to add transformation, if you want to change the position, if you want to rotate, if you want to scale it, so if you want to go for the transformation, so you can select and move, you can go for select and rotate, and you can choose select and scale. So these 3 option has shortcut. So for move, you can press W. If you want to rotate it, you press E. If you want to scale, you press R. All right. And to select, how to select in 3ds Max, you can simply click on any object and you can simply select it. But if you want to select multiple objects at a time, so you can select like this. Now you see that it's set as crossing, but if you set as window, so only the object which is covered within this window will be selected. So you can specify how you want to select it. So you can choose window or crossing. So right now this is the symbol for crossing. So you know the meaning of crossing, that is similar with green window selection in AutoCAD. So this window is crossing over this object, but it will select. But if you go for window, so the object must be covered within this window. So see that the brown box is covered within this window, and that one will be selected only. Okay, and you see that this is uh, forming a rectangular shape while I'm dragging the window. So this is here set, like you want to create a circular form, so you can go with that. So there you will choose what will be the region. Okay, so you have this fence selection like polygon selection, like this you can go for. Like this you also have. So how you open this list, you left click and hold, and then the list will pop up, and this is your lasso selection. So this one if you have used Photoshop, there you will find this lasso selection region option, and this spray paint like this. So let me go for cross, and this way you can select as well. So this is how you select. Let me choose this rectangular region option. Now let me go for W, and now you see that we can have this gizmo for transforming the position of our objects. So it's showing you the X positive direction, Y positive direction, and Z positive direction. Now you see that the axis which is right now selected, is highlighted in yellow color. So if I want to move in Z direction, so I have to select and click on Z axis of this gizmo, and then holding my click, I will drag towards either positive or negative direction. Like the similar, if I go for X, so I can only move in X positive and Y, in X positive and negative direction, and the similar for Y as well. So you can do this also with shortcuts. So if you want to select uh, x-axis or y-axis or z-axis, so we have shortcuts for that. So F5 is for x, and if you press F6, you see that y is right now highlighted, and if you press F7, so z axis will be highlighted, and again if F5 is for x.
F5.
F5, F5 for X, F6 for Y, and F7 for Z. And now we shouldn't forget about the planes. So as we have axis, we have planes also. So we have XZ plane, we have YZ plane, and we have XY plane. So if I want to switch in between planes, so for that I will press F8. So F8 will switch in between planes. All right, and then I can move in Z and X. All right, so you can see that I am selecting any particular axis or any particular plane, but I'm moving randomly with my mouse. I'm moving randomly. Now I want to move with precise value. So how I can do that? So for that we have uh, transformation type in window that will be popped up with F12. If you press F12, and there you will find out. So let me set on X0, Y0, and Z0. There you find. So for this also, let me set 0, 0, 0. So this two is set as at the location 0, 0, 0. All right. Now you see that we have two options, that is absolute world and offset world. So if you go with this absolute world, so this value will be calculated from the origin. So you know about the coordinate, right? I have explained it well in AutoCAD. So you know about this absolute world. So if you go for this x and y and z, so it will be calculated from the origin of our coordinate. So now if I want to transform in x direction this object, and if I go for like 60 and enter, so this is moved 60 in positive x direction. Let me go for 600. So this is totally moved 600 from the origin, and let me go for 6000 and enter, and it is moved like 6000 from the zero or the origin. Now if I go for this offset, and it will be it will be calculated from the previous point or the last position. Now if I go for like minus 500, so the this x will be changed also. So just uh, see the change. So right now see that the x of this absolute world is changed to 5500. So this value is calculated from the origin, and you see that this offset is calculated from the last position. So the from the last position it's moved 500 to the x negative direction, and that is the total value from the origin is 5500 right? So this how we can move it. Now if I go for e, so that will be, sorry, let me close this, and if I go for e, that is for rotate, and then you again go for transform type in shortcut, that is 12, and now you can see that is rotate transform type in, and you want to rotate in x axis, along x axis you want to rotate. So here you can give value like 45, and here you can see with precise value you can transform with this transform type in window. So not only for this rotate, we also apply with scale. So now you see that
One second, I just have a question. Can you please zoom in the top standard viewport?
this
Yeah.
one,
Zoom out, I mean.
yes,
Yeah. So as we did the rotate, the center axis remained the same, no? As you did the 45 degree, I mean the
this one,
position of, yeah.
right, yes, right,
Is it
because
shifted
this
or
one,
it is,
yes,
yeah.
yes. So this gizmo is, when I have selected this gizmo is at its geometric center, right? So let me show you that. You see, it is at its center. So that's why we can change the location also. We can change the location for this gizmo. So I will show you that. So at, at the default, that is set at the
It
center.
rotated at the center, right? That's what I meant.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. So we can change it from the hierarchy. We can change this pivot. So we will discover this later. Now let me show you that this is also available for your scale option. So if you go for R and F12, so there you can change it. Okay, so for this one you have to change carefully, because for this scale it may create confusion with this absolute and offset. So you have to make it perfect. You go for absolute, like let me apply 110. So the 10% is increased towards X direction, like this, you see. So this is the total X value right now for the scale. Like let me apply 300. Okay, so you can go for this Y and Z also. And now if you go for this offset, so it will add with this with the last value. So like if you go for 110 and then you enter, and there you see this is added. So this was 300 and this is added 30 value with the 110 percentage. So this is added with the last value, right? So I'm clear with this one. If it is not clear, it may create confusion. Please let me know if I'm clear with this one.
If you can just repeat the example with some other figures, it will be clear.
Okay, sure.
Figures as in the figures that you were, no, not this figure, I'm saying the scale
Yeah, let
figures
me.
that you were using, the numbers that you were using, that is what I meant.
Okay, no problem.
Not with the,
I'm going to show you with a different one. Here, let me show you. So here we have one option that is called teapot, and you can uncheck this body if you don't want that. If you don't want this handle, you can do that. You can uncheck this spout. You can uncheck this lid one. Okay, so let me go with this option, and now let me go with this scale. So I will press R and I will go for F12 there, and there you can see that is right now the scale transform type in window. Okay, and just a second, give me a minute. Okay, so let me continue. So now you can see that is the scale transform type in window, and you see this is for absolute and this is for offset. So this one will add the total value, okay, and this one, if you apply with this offset one, so it will add with the last value, okay. So let me show you the example. Suppose I'm going to change the Z1. So here if I go for 300, okay, so the value is added totally, the 300. Now if I want to change anything here on this offset one, if I add like 110 or 150, so the right now the value is, for the absolute, the value is 300, so it will add 150% with this 300. So what will be the total scale value? 300 into 150, I think 450, I guess. So let me 150 and enter. Yeah, you see that the total scale is right now, total scale value is right now 450, and it's showing you again the offset is 100. So whenever you apply the with the offset, so that is applied, but the value, it is reflected within this absolute, that is the total. So
It
you
adds to the
ultimate,
absolute
you get the total value.
So
Yes.
I cannot see the numbers clearly, so it's not clear like what's changing.
zoom in the screen.
Yeah, let me zoom it. Just a minute.
Namrata, you can also opt for an option as in full focus in your.
Is is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now you see that I have applied 300, and now I have applied 150 for offset, and now the total value is 450. So now if I go for this 100, right now this the total value for this Y scale is 100. Now if I go for anything uh, here at this offset, so this will be added with the last value, that is right now 100. So 100 into 150, that will be total 150% as a total scale for Y, that you see. And for this offset value, it becomes again the 100, or at the default right now. So whenever you apply on this offset one, it will be, it will be calculated, but it will be reflected with this total value that is present in this absolute local. All right.
Yes.
All right, then let me end the class here.